Hey everybody, welcome back to SisterCodes channel. My name is Kaylee.
And I'm Ashley, and today we're going to be talking about why we're breaking up with Instagram. Before we go any further, please like and subscribe to SisterCodes. We bring out a new video every single Wednesday, so every Wednesday we will have a new video out.
Something exciting to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into it.
All right, where to start? Okay, so I will say that this video was really inspired after the most recent update that Instagram put out, which was not too long ago actually. I think it was about a month ago.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of really notable things that happened that we'll kind of dissect through the course of this video. But before we dive into that, I wanted to say, like, why would you even care? Why are we even making a video about leaving Instagram? Well, that's because both of us have invested very significant amounts of time over the past 2 years building our following, building our platform on Instagram. So I have about almost 3,000 followers. I think you have what, almost 2,000?
Yeah, almost 2,000, yeah.
Almost 2,000 followers. And that's like a very slow thing over, like I said, a couple of years. We've invested a lot of time in this platform to kind of like build up our brand, build awareness of like our blogs and like, you know, our careers and different things that we do. But this most recent update has really got me questioning whether I want to stay on the platform and continue investing my time in it.
Yeah, so there's a couple things that happened with this newest update. One of them is introducing Reels, which is a competitor for TikTok. We're going to talk about that. Also introducing a whole new shopping tab.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, just kind of changing the layout, changing the algorithm multiple times, which we're also going to talk about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Reels, and Kaylee really
I don't like Reels.
Kaylee hates Reels.
I hate them.
Both of us are not on TikTok. That was just a choice because of like all the data privacy issues. Also because I don't like it. I don't like the whole dancing thing. I don't like the I'm not interested. I feel like they were trying to be like Vine.
Yeah.
And I loved Vine, but
I
like
loved Vine too.
I don't like TikTok, so
I'm not. Yeah, it's the dancing thing, I think.
Yeah,
it already got such a rep for like people dancing and like,
yeah, I don't know. But anyways, Reels is like a knockoff version of TikTok.
Yeah.
We've used it a couple times, mainly because if you use Reels, it really pushes you up in the algorithm, whatever it is. But both of us don't really like the way that the content is being shown in a Reel. Like, we just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't really like this whole thing going on, and also it's really hard to make. It's really difficult. You're like really difficult. Wow, that was bad.
Yeah.
But you're like scrolling and it's this tiny phone screen.
You're like trying to click and
trying
like,
to
put the
move
text on
things
there,
and then it disappears. Or the worst is when you like delete. You accidentally drag something down and then you delete it. You have to like retype it all over again. You're like, and then you can't get the text to appear on like the right timing.
Yeah.
So you're like dragging, and then also it's never quite clear to me like when I'm clicking into the next part of the Reel. Does that make sense? Like the way it's laid out, it's really hard to know when you're like finishing and posting the Reel, or if there's like one more step to edit it.
Yeah,
I always got confused. Well, I did this once and I was like, I'm never doing that again.
And then it's like post to your feed or post to like your or like what is it, the Reel section or something
on your profile.
Anyways,
I'm not about Reels.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna go watch TikToks, I would go to TikTok.
For me, you'd like go to YouTube and watch like a
YouTube. That's why I never really liked IGTV. The only form of video that I really like is like the short post videos or stories, which are limited to like 10 seconds, and yeah, you can do lives and stuff, but that's more like in the moment for me. I never really liked the whole idea of Instagram becoming a video platform as much, because like there are other platforms that do that better in my opinion. And to me, this most recent update really showed that Instagram just doesn't know what it wants to be as a platform.
Yeah,
like, it has no clue.
This is like, I feel like this is a classic tech problem of doing something really well, and then suddenly they're like, oh, this is doing really well, let me try and add 10 features that nobody wants / don't work right, because there's so many bugs in the new update, and then they're like, okay, here, enjoy this, but really they're just taking away from essentially what made Instagram good, which was like the posts and the stories. I think those are the two like most core things that I liked about Instagram, and now I feel like they're being drowned out by all this other noise that isn't being done very well. So another thing we want to talk about is
the algorithm.
The algorithm.
The algorithm.
The algorithm. So both of us have had like a lot of problems with the algorithm. Basically, we usually get around 100 plus likes normally, but with this new algorithm update with reels, taking into account reels and everything else, sometimes I'll get like 25 likes.
Yeah,
or
I'll get
something.
about half my normal engagement,
Mhm.
and it was like I looked back at all my posts of which ones did really well, etc.
Mhm.
And it was like right after the update, boom, like there was like a noticeable drop off. So the algorithm, this has given us a lot of trouble.
Mhm.
Like, not only has this most recent update, I mean, I think it's really done a couple of things. First of all, the ads are everywhere.
Literally everywhere. And
Like-
they're so hidden, like it'll say sponsored in really,
Mhm.
really tiny text. So when I'm going
Really
through
tiny.
and I'm
Really
watching
tiny.
stories or I'm looking at posts, I honestly can't even tell when they're sponsored. Like, you really have to pay attention. And
Yeah. And they intentionally choose things that blend into your feed so that you don't know.
Yeah,
We actually made an entire SisterCodes podcast on advertisements and about like how now you don't know when you're being shown an ad or not, and how frustrating it can be. And that's definitely how I feel now. So definitely check that out. We'll link it below. But it's so true. I think we did a little test, a little experiment. Every 6th post is now an ad. And for me, I would say every 3rd or 4th story is an ad.
Yeah.
Kind of varies between 3 to 5 stories, but it's really annoying. Like, you're clicking through and all of a sudden it's an ad and you don't even realize. Like, it's some nature landscape and you think it could easily be one of your friends, right? Not the case. It's an ad.
Also, sometimes it's like 3 ads. Like, it's a 3 video story ad.
So as you keep clicking, you're still seeing ads and you don't even realize it. Again, the sponsored is like very tiny text up in the top right or top left corner. The other thing that I did is it promoted reels so that people who are making reels get higher engagement, which we don't really like making reels. We don't like watching reels. So, and actually I did a poll for my audience. I like put a bunch of polls up because I was like trying to figure out like what kind of content y'all want to see. You know, are you a student? Are you a professional? And I had one. It was like, do you prefer posts or reels? And I was like, please say posts. Please say posts. I got over 150 responses, and it was like over 75% of people said posts. So I know that it's not just me. Like, I definitely don't like reels. I know others definitely prefer posts. But this most recent algorithm update, I definitely felt that I'm being punished for not using the reels feature as much.
Yeah, I guess another thing about the algorithm is that you have to take so much into account. So it's not just about your post time. It's about the hashtags that you're using. You can't reuse too many hashtags too many times because you get shadow banned. It's also about like what is in your picture, because usually if it's like a picture of us, it does really well.
Yeah.
Or if it's like of just your desk, it does really, really well. But literally anything else, you will probably get much lower engagement if you're trying anything new, you know, or like trying to create some new type
Posts
of content.
with text I found do really poorly.
Yeah, really, really
like
poorly.
If I do a carousel like text thing, it doesn't do as well.
Which I think is part of the algorithm. Like, it looks to see if it's just a text or if it's there's like a face in it or something like that. And then it pushes ones that have faces in them up. So.
Yeah. The algorithm is like very fickle, and what's crazy is that, you know, we spend the same amount of time creating our content now as we did 2 years ago, but we were getting way more engagement and just general people seeing the posts. I also wanted to say that after this most recent update, not only do I see a lot more ads, I used to see a lot of smaller brands content just because, like, you know, they'll have sales or different things, and I wanted to see, you know, follow them on Instagram, but they would have over 10,000 followers. After this most recent update, I was only seeing posts by accounts with over 10,000 followers, to the point where I wasn't seeing Ashley's content. I wasn't seeing any of my other friends' content on Instagram, like people in the community that I'd gotten to know. And I was really confused because I was like, well, if I'm not seeing their content, they're not seeing mine.
Yeah, definitely.
So I actually had to unfollow all of the big accounts because it was actually got to a point where one account, I saw 6 posts in a row from them.
Wow.
The oldest one being from 4 days ago, and nothing about your most recent post that you had just posted, which is actually the reason I went on Instagram, because I was going to go like it and put a comment and stuff. But it didn't even suggest your post. It only suggested 6 posts in a row from this big account. And I thought, what kind of algorithm would only suggest content like that? And it just, I don't know. For me, that's kind of when I was thinking, well, why am I exerting this much influence into this platform in the first place? Because I'm not getting anything back out of it.
Mhm.
And I'm continuing, it's the same amount of effort to create content on Instagram now as it was before. And actually, it's probably gotten worse because the complexity, like you said, of the algorithm has gotten worse.
Yeah, and it's also so hard to gain followers organically, to gain an audience. Like, if you put up a post and you spend all this time doing the caption, like writing a really good caption, doing all the hashtags, making sure the photo is like well lighted and all this stuff, you'll probably get like 10 followers, and 5 of them will probably be spam bots.
Yeah.
And then half those people will probably unfollow you anyways. So it's really like 5 followers is what you're getting.
If you're lucky.
And we're creating these YouTube videos, and obviously it is more work to edit, you know, a whole video and put it up. But I do feel like YouTube has done a better job of at least pushing our content to people who are watching similar things. And we don't have to do too much. Like, we don't have to, we post at Wednesday at 6 p.m., which is like a recommended time to post. But we don't really have to do too much crazy hashtag stuff. We don't have to constantly be changing what we're doing, because YouTube isn't like constantly changing their algorithm a ton.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think that's one of the nice things where I feel like Instagram rewards people who are constantly on the platform. So it rewards people who comment on other people's posts a lot, or who post on stories a lot, or post on, you know, their feed a lot. But it's that like doom scrolling, right? Like it's really easy to get sucked into that hole. And actually, from a content creator's perspective, when I deleted Instagram off my phone like over a week ago, it's been the best week and a half. Like, I used to roll over in the mornings. The first thing I do would be to check Instagram. And I'm like, oh, I've got to get my 3 comments for the day. Like, none of that. And then also, there were other things that I would be doing. And I was like, oh, man, I should totally put this on my Instagram. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, to have that level of, like, I don't know, it just, like, creeps into your mind. And as a content creator, like, I know I've talked with a lot of other people who feel that way. But it's like, those are the people who get rewarded. If you're posting all the time, you're on it all the time, you're liking other people's stuff all the time. And so it is really difficult, whereas, like you said, YouTube, you post once a week.
Yeah, you just, like, put up the video.
Yeah.
And
it's like,
and it's there.
and although you do, like, the filming and you do that, it's like, that was very much on your own schedule. And it's not like it's a daily thing. Instagram's very different. It's sneaky, and this whole like shopping and all this other stuff, I think, is just draw you in, right? Like pull you in and keep you there.
Yeah, so especially with Instagram shopping, there's like a separate tab now just for shopping, and the like add a new post button has been replaced by Reels as well. So it's clear that they're trying to push those two as like their new center for the platform.
Let's just talk about this whole button thing, because now, in order to post a story, which stories used to be a very instant thing, there was a button at the top, you would immediately be able to post to your story. And stories are supposed to be like in the moment stuff, right? Like, oh, I'm having a coffee, or I'm taking a walk, and you post it on your story. Now, there's actually, and this is another thing, Instagram doesn't use the Android camera very well. It zooms it in a lot, so you get like a fraction of the view that you would if you used your phone's camera. So what I like to do is I like to film it on my phone. Quality is also really bad through Instagram. I don't know why. But I'll film it on my phone, and then I'll like upload it to stories. There is now 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks for me to post something from my camera roll onto stories. Whereas before, it used to be like, you would click on the stories button, and then you would click immediately on your camera roll and be able to post it.
For me, it's just swipe left and then swipe up.
I don't have that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what mine has, yeah. So I like am on the home screen, and then I swipe left, and then I swipe up, and I can upload stories.
I can't do... Anyways, I liked stories a lot. So I was like, this is, especially from a UI perspective, like, you want to minimize the number of clicks. And for something that's supposed to be as instantaneous as stories, I was like, why didn't I do that? Actually, you know what? Maybe I do have that, but I never figured it out.
Maybe.
But again, bad UI. That is terrible design. Like, I'm a literal computer programmer, and if I couldn't figure out that's how you post the stories, like, holy moly.
Yeah, I think that it's also really sneaky that they changed the shopping, like they put the shopping button where the activity button used to go, because it really is muscle memory of like...
Unfortunately, despite recording this video about 5 times, we kept having technical difficulties and the end credit scene did not record. But we did want to say thank you all so much for watching this video. We hope you learned something. Maybe we've given you something to think about if you're considering using Instagram or building a platform there. Please like this video and subscribe. We do come out with a brand new video every single Wednesday, and we can't wait to see you back here next week. Thank you.